Good, happy Monday morning, January 18, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Monday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. And it is also Martin Luther King Jr. Day as well. Happy MLK Day to all of you as well. Welcome to this Monday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. We have a little bit of everything for you in this program, so it's time to rise and shine, get this Monday morning off to a good start. Sit back, relax, grab that cup of coffee, and enjoy this Monday, January 18, 2021 edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Let's begin. First up, we're going to begin with your Johns Hopkins University in Medicine COVID-19 dashboard. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. Global cases are 95,118,418. U.S. cases are 23,937,331. Your global deaths are 2,032,446. U.S. deaths are 397,600. And that is a look at your Johns Hopkins University COVID-19 dashboard. And now let's get to your other news. Harris prepares for central role in Biden's White House. Kamala Harris will make history on Wednesday when she becomes the nation's first female vice president, and the first black woman, and the first woman of South Asian descent to hold that office. Kamala Harris will make history on Wednesday when she becomes the nation's first female vice president, and the first black woman, and the first woman of South Asian descent to hold that office. But that's only where her boundary-breaking role begins. FBI venting guard troops in D.C. aimed fears of insider attack. U.S. defense officials say they are worried about an insider attack or other threat from service members involved in securing President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. There are 25,000 National Guard troops that will be in Washington, D.C. for the event on Wednesday. Giuliani says he won't be on Trump impeachment defense team. Trump was impeached by the House for a second time last week. President Donald Trump will not have Rudy Giuliani on his team for the impeachment trial. Rudy Giuliani tells ABC News he will not be part of President Donald Trump's legal team for the upcoming Senate impeachment trial because I gave an earlier speech at January 6th Trump rally before the Capitol riot, Giuliani told ABC News Sunday night. I am a witness and therefore unable to participate in the court or Senate chamber. Trump was impeached by the House for a second time last week following the siege on Capitol by pro-Trump mob. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. And damaging winds expected in California. Heavy snow for the Rockies and eastern Great Lakes. A fire weather watch has been issued for Southern California. And now let's take a look at the weather map for all of you across the United States. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that weather map for all of you right now across the United States. As you can see along the East Coast, you're seeing some snow in some parts of New Hampshire, then some dry spots all along down here, but all snow covering this whole section here of the United States. And then dry all along here, and then over here in the middle, you're seeing some mixed precipitation, and then some more snow all along here, with heavy snow possible here, and then some rain in the Texas area, in these states over here, and some rain over here. Otherwise, all dry along here and down here as well, and along these edges here. And that is a look at the weather across the United States for all of you for this Monday. And we're going to switch gears now. As we mentioned in our broadcast in the beginning, that it is Dr. Martin Luther King Day, his life and legacy. Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his life to the novel struggle for civil rights in the United States. King's leadership played a pivotal role in ending entrenched segregation for African Americans and to the Certificate of Civil Rights Act of 1964, considered a crowning achievement of the civil rights era. King was assassinated in 1968, but his words and legacy continue to represent for all those seeking justice in the United States and around the world. As King said at the Washington National Cathedral on March 31st, 1968, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And now let's take a look at this video. Martin Luther King Jr. leads the march on Washington. Let's take a look at this video from the History Channel.
August 28, 1963. 250,000 Americans, black and white, young and old, descend on the nation's capital in a show of solidarity. It was called the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, but it will be remembered as a turning point in the fight for civil rights. Among the speakers, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who electrified the crowd with his stirring "I Have a Dream" speech.
So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
A few months earlier, racial tensions in the Deep South had erupted. News reports carried brutal images of fire hoses blasting at the backs of school children. President Kennedy had finally seen enough. In June of 1963, he presented sweeping civil rights legislation to Congress. Dr. King and others hoped a massive yet peaceful demonstration in Washington would spur passage of the bill. The city braced for violence, but their fears proved unfounded. The day of the march, more than 200,000 people gathered for a rally at the Washington Monument. It was the largest demonstration in the country's history. Arm in arm, they walked from the Washington Monument to the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. There, performers as diverse as Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, and Mahalia Jackson lent their voices to the cause. Martin Luther King Jr. was the last to take the stage. He began with a reference to Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves a century earlier.
But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free.
Partway through, King put aside his prepared text and shared with the protesters his dream of equal rights for all.
Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Okay, and there you go on that video. And switching gears now, how to build an emergency savings fund. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Life is full of surprises, and sometimes they have a giant price tag. But I'm going to help you prepare for that by setting up an emergency savings fund. Here's the thing you need to know first. An emergency fund is money that you have sitting on the sidelines, untouched, and it's important that you have this money so that you have something when the unforeseen hits. Illness is one of the biggest, a death in the family, divorce. There are also the natural life events related to careers, a layoff, a change in your income, a job change. All of these things can lead to very different financial outcomes for your lifestyle. And if you have that emergency savings fund ready to go in the event that you are facing financial hardship, you'll be so much better off, and you won't have to shoulder both the economic and financial burden along with the emotional burden of these major lifestyle changes. Here's what you need to know next. In an ideal world, you put aside 6 months worth of emergency savings, but if you can't get there, at least have it be 3 months worth of savings to cover all the necessities in your life should the unforeseen hit. You want to look at your weekly budget. How much are you spending on food and groceries? What is the cost of electricity and utilities? How much do you have to pay for rent or your mortgage? These are all necessities, things that you would have to make payments on in order to keep the status quo. And that's what you're really going for here. In the event of an emergency, how much money would you need to have set aside in order to cover all of your costs, even if, for example, you lost your job or had a giant unforeseen healthcare bill? Building an emergency savings takes work, and the last thing you want is to undo all of that hard work with a decision on the fly. Going on a cruise is not an emergency savings fund expenditure. Buying a new car. Here's a good barometer. Consider whether you actually need something to survive. If you don't, it's not an emergency.
Okay, there you go. Good tips there.
Looks like we're on a roll. Monday is the fastest.
And we're gonna switch gears now. Let's go into your entertainment news. Today in entertainment news, Bachelor Mansion. How you can rent the iconic TV house. Exclusive. Let's take a look at that from Entertainment Tonight.
Fans know that Matt James's season is not filming at the iconic Bachelor Mansion, but since we are here, I'm gonna get to take a look around. We are inside the Bachelor Mansion, everybody, and fans will remember these stairs. Tiara infamously fell down them during Sean Lowe's season. Tiara, I'm in heels. They seem pretty sturdy to me.
Now we're at the point where this is my least favorite part of the night.
Now we are entering hallowed grounds. This is the famous rose ceremony room. Of course, it looks totally different right now, but if you recognize the fireplace behind me, earlier in the night before the eliminations happen, a kiss or an intimate chat might happen there. And then people get sent home. Though you'll notice not a rose in sight right now because production changes everything when they film. That's why I brought some on my jacket. All right, we are here in the kitchen, and it actually gets put to a lot of use because even though the show seems glamorous, when you're a contestant, you gotta cook your own food. You're doing a lot of making out. I don't know, are there mints all over the Bachelor Mansion?
You know what there was? There was a Listerine strips. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And I definitely used my fair share of them.
Just pop those in.
No. Hey, guys.
Bachelor Nation, we are in the room known as the Tink Tink Room, where Chris Harrison comes in, does a tink tink on his glass, and makes a dramatic announcement.
Sorry to break this up, but it is time for our first rose ceremony.
Ah, the pool. If you didn't jump in on night one, were you even here?
That's it. That's the most important thing that we need to know about you.
Now, many an intimate conversation has happened at this fireplace. I'm really hoping to get the first impression rose, but if I don't, I brought my own. Yeah, that's sad. We are now in the master bedroom closet, and behind the scenes secret, when Chris Harrison isn't filming, he takes naps in here. So let's see what it's like. Not bad. Thanks. You grew up, just a few minutes from where we are at the Bachelor Mansion.
Yeah.
You said you used to try to sneak in. Does this mean, did you ever daydream about being Bachelor? And did you guys ever think this could happen?
Life's crazy. Life is very crazy. I swear, I have vivid memories of trying to hop over that fence and sneak on here. And this many years later, having this opportunity, I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
I am with the man who designed it, who owned it, and who is now renting it on Airbnb for you, Marshall Harridan. I am noticing, though, I kind of brought the roses today. Not as many roses on property as we usually see on a certain TV show. Did they bring the roses in? What's the deal?
They bring their own.
This is the first time it's ever been on Airbnb, right?
Yes.
So what made you want to put it out there?
The kids are all grown up, so they're not here. So there's a lot of empty house, so we travel a lot. So when we come home, it's just sitting here empty. So it's right around 9,600 square feet.
Wow.
There is 7 bedrooms now and 8 bathrooms.
Okay.
It sits on 10 acres.
How many people are you saying that it can sleep then comfortably?
I think we say 13.
13, usually 30 women on the show. The pool gets used quite a lot.
Yes, it does.
Do you ever wonder what that pool has seen?
I keep it really clean.
Okay, so Marshall, I want to come and stay one night. How much am I looking at?
Just one night?
Yeah.
Well, you have political influence, so probably around $6,000 a night.
$6,000. What do I get?
2 jacuzzis, swimming pool, pool table, full bar. Chris Harrison not included.
Oh, that's extra.
A lot.
Okay, there you go. Expensive stay to stay in that mansion. And Justin Timberlake reveals baby boy's name. Let's take a listen to that video from Access Hollywood.
You're a dad again. You have another little child.
Yes, thank you.
It's a boy. Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel are officially proud parents of 2. The music superstar confirmed that he and his actress wife had a second son last year, revealing on Monday's Ellen DeGeneres show that their bundle of joy is named Phineas, and he's been a significant addition to their household in more ways than one.
His name is Phineas, and he's awesome, and he's so cute, and nobody's sleeping. But we're thrilled, we're thrilled, and
couldn't be happier, very grateful.
Justin didn't confirm Phineas's exact birth date, but reports first surfaced over the summer that the Timberlake family had grown by one. Phineas joins 5-year-old big brother Silas, who Justin said is handling the new addition well so far, telling Ellen, quote, "Right now he's very much liking it. Finn can't walk yet or chase him down, so we'll see what happens." Ellen couldn't help but point out that she was among the lucky few who not only knew about the Timberlake's new addition, but that Jessica was expecting again in the first place, and she recalled the sweet moment the couple shared their happy news with her.
I remember, I thought back on it, I think we were FaceTiming, and you said, "Hey, you want to know a secret?" And then Jessica walked in, and you put your hand on her stomach, you're like, "Are you having another baby?"
Yeah. You're one of the first people outside of our immediate family that we told.
Though Justin joked that he and Jessica don't see each other anymore now that parenting duties have doubled, he joked how the experience has been more than worth the challenges, saying, quote, "It's a lot of fun. I guess the saying goes, go from a zone defense to a man-to-man really quickly. It's great. Congrats to the happy new foursome."
Okay, and there you go. Congratulations to his family. And now let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today and see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful Monday. And thank you for joining us for this Monday morning edition of the morning show with Riley King. Have a great rest of your day, everyone, and see you back here tomorrow for another edition of the morning show with Riley King. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.